You're watching Terry G Productions.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another very exciting episode of Connect 4. I am Talent.
I'm Oral. My name is actually Oral because my mother thought that would be a good idea. I'm named after my dad. Side note, if you ever meet a man who looks like he's in his 60s, also named Oral, do not talk to him. Run. And he probably, at the end of your conversation, will owe you $20. So, just a heads up. There are a couple of Orals in the world. I've only met one that I'm not related to.
You're the first for me.
Yeah, so that happens a lot. I hear that a lot. I'm gonna let you in on a secret.
So many jokes.
So, anytime, I'm like, oh, they're like, what's your name? I'm like, oh, my name is Robert, but you can call me Rob. It's my middle name. And I didn't want to say, hi, my name is Oral. They're like, what, really? That's your name? I'm like, yeah, that's my fucking name. I was born in New York, but we moved when I was like really little because it was New York in the 80s and my mother said, fuck all of this, we're leaving. I moved here when I was 2, grew up here. I remember 90s Orlando was weird. Do you remember Mystery Funhouse?
Yes.
Okay, so I lived in that Orlando where
people would invite, young people would go there just to hang out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The day they shut that place down was a really sad day. I grew up in that weird staccatoed Orlando. So you had Skull Kingdom. I remember growing up, going to parks, and then eventually comic books kind of came into my life because the cooler older cousin came to stay with us while he was playing basketball for this team over the summer. So I just missed Age of Apocalypse. Onslaught was coming. And my cousin was really adamant about collecting the first 50 issues of Spawn. And he was just piecing together the last, I'd say
Spawn was huge right then.
Yeah, 8 or so issues. So I came in, we got this random sort of hodgepodge of comic books that we just kind of picked up with any milk money we had. He's like, this is Spawn. Don't tell your mother I'm showing you Spawn because she'll fucking kill me. It kind of informed what I like about Marvel or just comics in general. But my cousin moved away. I fell out of comic books. And then in college, and this is me watching everything on Fox. The XMen,
90s X-Men animated series.
All of that.
Spider-Man and
the Silver Surfer, which to this day I'm so devastated over that they canceled it so quickly. Growing up on a steady diet of movies and pop culture and all this sort of stuff, I was a really weird kid. And I remember going to Chuck E. Cheese and everyone's like, oh, what are you going to use on my tickets? I'm like, oh, I'm saving my tickets for the bigger prizes. I bought a disco light. And
it's a sign! She should have known.
Oh, it gets worse. So I would play music, turn on this disco light, mix a bunch of fruit juices and sodas together, and I opened something called Club Oral. It's not what you think. What I would do is I would play techno and house music with the disco light on, and I'd wait in line to get into the club.
Your own line?
But sometimes I didn't even get in. But that's the kind of kid I was. And it's really hard to find your tribe. And so I think nerds are that tribe because we're all outcasts. We all love different things.
What about the X-Men drew you in?
So, in a world that hates and fears you, you can choose one of two things. You can choose to make you bitter, or you can try to make the world a better place by being a good person and fostering understanding. As this like really weird kid that didn't understand why everybody was looking at Jane Fonda and Barbarella and I was looking at the blonde-haired angel, I'm like, oh, that's the person I want to be. Like, the world can hate or fear you, and all you can do is the best you can. And that is what the X-Men do. The X-Men have saved the multiverse time and time again. It's showing you that just because the world is an ugly place doesn't mean you have to be ugly. I love the X-Men. And it's strange because even though Scarlet Witch is my favorite and she's an Avenger, I want her to be on an X-Men team.
Yeah.
I want her there.
Yeah, yeah.
Because...
Has she ever been an official member of any team? Not X-Force, not X-Factor?
Not that I'm aware of.
Me either.
You know, even the really, like, Magneto. Magneto wants a world where, like, his children and people like him aren't hated and feared. I mean, he's an extremist.
Yeah, he is.
He has the right to be angry. And he has chosen not to rise above it.
It's Malcolm X and Martin Luther King.
Yeah.
I know people have made those comparisons before. Is it through peaceful means, or is it through, you know, violence? As a whole, overall, the X-Men do not try and kill people. However, there are X-Men who don't really care, and sometimes they do cross that line.
Yeah, and
but it is ultimately they're not evil. They are ultimately trying to do a greater good.
Now, who is your favorite? I know your favorite, but I want you to tell me who's your favorite.
My favorite X-Man is Nightcrawler. To be able to just go wherever I want, not have to drive or anything, like just. And a lot of people don't know this, but he's invisible in shadows.
Yes.
So like he can, I mean, even if it's a little tiny shadow, he can like crawl into this area and like no one would.
But nobody remembers that.
Yeah. And then the fact that he looked like a demon. You know, he never came across even as like jealous. Like he didn't care that Cyclops could walk around normal. Like it didn't, you know. And yeah, he had moments. Again, they all have moments where they're sitting there reflecting on the way they feel about themselves. You know, he'll be like perched up somewhere high up where he teleported and it's raining and he's feeling a little bad about the people don't like him or whatever. But ultimately, he's one of the more positive X-Men. And Iceman, Colossus, and Storm are some of my favorites. And they got it so easy. They can change back, like Iceman and Colossus can just change back and forth at will. And they look great when they're normal. Yeah. And then yet they're super powerful when they change into, you know. So
you are who you truly are. I get that. Well, Scarlet Witch is my favorite. Mutant.
I consider, I mean,
same. You know what's funny? Sorry to cut you off.
No.
Someone asked me, it's like, oh, but you know, she's not mutant. I'm like, you know, that's not canon anymore. I'm like, canon is what you feel in here.
Yes. And how did it start? You want to twist and change things. How many years later? 40, 50, where are we at here? I don't know when she was even created, but it's got to be.
If I have to choose one, I love Jean. I do, but who doesn't? What gay man doesn't love Jean? But I think my favorite is probably Monet.
Really?
I love Monet.
Talk about deep cuts.
Yeah, and I don't always
read. Can you explain her to people? So most people aren't going to know.
Monet St. Croix is what people consider the perfect mutant. She has
she went by M for you guys.
M, yeah. Flight, durability. She's incredibly strong, and she has psychic abilities.
Genetic lottery like a mother.
Yeah. The problem with M is that if you don't know how to write her, she's really overpowered. Same with Scarlet Witch. Like, Monet is great, but she's got family problems and demons. And that's why I really like her. Because you could be this, like, you can claw your way to respectability, but you're still going to be dragged down by...
And they were rich as fuck, right?
Yeah. Oh, she's still rich.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really like Monet. The X-Men have gone through some dark times.
Yes.
Which
is why I had stopped reading for a very long time.
But the problem is that even during like the rough times, X-Men's still really good.
There's stories. If you read it as a contained thing, it's fine. If you try and put it in a context over a long, overarching thing, you're like, none of this makes any fucking sense.
Except for one thing.
What?
Grand design.
Okay. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Grand Design comics. This is issue 1. This is issue 2.
Of Second Genesis. Yeah. You have the other ones, and you packed them away, and you haven't read.
Are you sure?
You should have them.
Yes, you're right. You're right. Yes, because I read them, so they're packed away.
See?
So there's what? There's
your comic book person always knows.
I love this, man. But I read the first one, and that was the one that had Namor in it. And,
yes.
Which, by the way, they are changing history a little bit.
X-Men now, it's a forge, and they're working at getting X-Men to the height they deserve. Because for years I was like, oh,
and they're doing that, in your opinion, through Grand Design.
Grand Design as something that says, hey, long-term readers, let's bring you in. Let's streamline. Or if people who's like, I want to start X-Men from the beginning, and you're like, that's not feasible, let's give you the highlights. For me, I bounced around. When I came back to Marvel, I bounced around for a lot of titles, but I really wanted to get into X-Men. Grant Morrison's new X-Men gave me the foundation I needed.
What year did that come out?
2001, 2002.
I want to read that.
It's really good.
I'm a fan of Grant Morrison. But I didn't even know he did X-Men, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Shameful.
His X-Men run, it's where secondary mutations come from. Why Emma Frost is a psychic but has her diamond form. Okay. It's why Beast looked like a cat.
Damn it. So for those of you who are unaware, X-Men, when I got back into it, which is when I first met Oral, started going to the comic book shop, X-Men started 2 new comics called X-Men Blue and X-Men Gold. And it's basically, X-Men Blue is the X-Men Cyclops, Jean, Beast, Angel, and Iceman from the past.
And the present.
And brought to the present. And then Gold was Old Man Logan, Rachel Summers, who's going by Prestige now. And then Nightcrawler, Colossus, Kitty Pryde. And I think that was it. I think that it, yeah. With the occasional pop-ups of other people from time to time.
And Storm.
And yes, in Storm. I'm really enjoying Astonishing. The storytelling's fantastic. The artwork is great. Everything is fantastic. And I can kind of see where they're going. Them bringing Xavier back is no surprise. This is a cool way to do it.
Yeah.
But
there's so much that you missed, and I don't want to spoil it for you. The return of adult Jean Grey. There is something that every X-Men fan, especially long-term X-Men fans and Jean fans, were just like, this 5-panel page is everything I love about X-Men. This entire event is everything because it's weird, and you're like, is this time travel? Is this space? Is this it? X-Men does it all. Like, nerds have been so put upon. And yeah, like, now we're in the golden age, and everything's coming up Millhouse, and we're getting everything we want.
Did you ever walk around, though, and see people wearing shirts with, like, Captain America symbols on it, and just be like, poser? Like, I suffered for you to wear that shirt.
I'm at Orlando Pride, and I see this really cute guy with a Legend of Zelda, like, stained glass shirt. And I know exactly where it's from. I played it. I'm like, hey, I really love, like, your Zelda shirt, this and the other. He's like, oh, I just bought this because I thought it looked cool. And I'm just like, sir, you are a liar, and I bid you good day. Good day. I'm old enough to remember, hello, my baby. Hello, my honey.
Hello, my ragtime gal. The frog. What the?
Michigan J. Frog, yeah.
Oh, my God.
So
the WB.
The WB. I love TV. I loved anything pop culture. I soaked everything up, and then, like, I hit college, and it wasn't until one of my best friends, who's my roommate now, he's like, hey, I got this little shop, down the street. Long story short, I work at this first comic book store I felt comfortable in. Like, I work at a comic shop in Winter Park.
You can check them out right here, guys. A comic book shop. And like he said, the first comic book he ever felt comfortable in I have to say the same thing. I mean, I'm a huge friggin' dork, and I know some stuff, but I always felt demeaned. Like, the people always seem to talk down to you, or they would ignore you. And the moment I walked in, you made me feel comfortable. And you, man, you didn't even, you remember my name immediately. I never had to say anything. I walk in, and boom, the guy's got my stuff ready, and then we're having these amazing conversations.
They're really fun, by the way. I look forward to every time you come in. But I can tell you why I always treat everyone like a friend and then actually like become friends with them, because there's a store in town. The location doesn't exist anymore, but it shall remain nameless. So some of you can kind of piece that. There's a store that I went into as a kid, and I had $20 in my pocket, and my mom was running into the store to buy like perfume, and she's like, stay here, like, you know, when you're done you come straight to this other store. I'm like, okay, no problem. I got $20 in my pocket, and I walk into a comic book store for the first time by myself, and I don't know what to buy, and I'm looking, and it's like Superman red, Superman blue, and like everything's bagged. So I'm just like kind of looking at things, trying to figure out like, where do I start? What do I do? And I'll never remember his face, but I'll always remember the way he feels. He's like, kid, you gotta buy something. You can't just like read. We're not
Go to
a
the library.
Yeah.
Fuck that, man.
And I remember like being that young and saying, I want to spend money. I love all this stuff. I watch all this stuff. Like, I want to read comic books. And it shut me down for years.
Oh, wow.
For years.
How old were you?
I was probably like 10 or 11 at the time.
Let this be a lesson to you assholes out there. You're going to lose all kinds of business. This was your fault, no. Doesn't work that way.
I remember like feeling that way, and I was like, I never want to be that person when I work at a comic book store. Like, I never want to be that person. So like, I come in and out of comics for years. In college, I was like, you know, I really like comic books. My roommate was like, hey, like, I'll take you to the store that I really like. So like, we graduate, we're at the store, and I'm voracious. Like, I am probably like 23. I've been out of comic books for forever. A friend let me borrow House of M.
Oh, great run.
Yeah. And I ate it all. Anything I could get my hands on. Didn't touch DC, because I'm just like, I wouldn't touch that with a 10-foot pole. Now I love DC, but like, Marvel was the thing that I needed. I became that you know, that young kid who's like, oh, like, I totally want to work here. If you guys need anything at all, like,
is it at the same place?
Yes. Eric and I have become really good friends, and so I went over and started working there. And
what year was that?
This was 2012.
Okay.
Yeah, this was 20. Oh shit! I've hit 6 years. Jesus,
congratulations!
And there are things that like I never thought that I would read, and then a new artist or writer comes on, and I'm like, oh, that's amazing. Or, you know, Jason Aaron gives you this like really epic Thor. Like, he's just writing this Thor saga. I remember I interviewed him once for this podcast that I'm on called Flame On, a gay nerdy podcast.
Boom! Check that out right here, guys. Tell them about all the stuff that you have going on.
Okay, so I'm a karaoke host. And I manage a comic book store. And I just hosted my first burlesque show. It wasn't mine.
Congratulations.
Thank you. This is My Geek Goddess.
Okay.
And they're super neat, and they're like, hey, like, we're looking for an MC. Do you want to host? And I'm like, yeah.
Where can people check them out?
MyGeekGoddess.com. I've been on a podcast since I think 2012 or 13.
Flame On.
And then,
what about the other one?
So the other one was called Stupid Popcast, which is going through some changes. We're on like an indefinite hiatus.
Okay.
But the hosts Jessica and Joseph, who are friends of mine, they're really cool, living up in Atlanta, doing all the things. I like spinning a lot of plates. I don't like doing just one thing. I found out.
With you. Yeah. You get bored, you can go over to the other, and then if you get bored with that, you can jump back over here.
So like all of these sort of things kind of like spin together in what I do. But anything I do I always want to have like some sort of like nerdy or geeky bent to, because it's just what I love. Do what makes you happy, because at the end of the day, if collecting these amazing collectibles, and there are a lot, and we're
gonna show you guys this this setup I got going on. I've never shown on an episode, so we're gonna debut my collection.
I'm excited.
Here it is. Some of my favorites.
Oh my god! Oh my god! This is gorgeous.
Thank you.
Some of these covers I haven't seen in like probably 20 years. Oh my god! But if collecting makes you happy, and I think it's a waste of time, my idea of you wasting quote unquote your life makes no bit of difference. It means fuck all, because when I leave, I no longer exist in your life. I no longer have any sort of influence. Not that I had any influence at all.
No, and with that, I challenge you, sir, to a game of Connect 4.
Okay.
Let's meet tonight's players. Versus. Let's play Connect 4.
Round 1.
We are going to get right into the game. Oral, how long has it been since you've played Connect 4?
Oh my god, it's been a while. It's been a while. I should let you know I got a gambling problem.
Well, we're not betting any money, so
Victory. That's what we're betting.
Yes. Yes.
So it's been years. I know it's been years.
But you know how to play.
Yes, I know how to play.
Okay. Since you are my guest, I will let you go first.
Thank you. I'd like to say that you're probably a ringer, and this is bullshit already.
Well, this is episode, I don't know what number at this point, but I've been playing for a minute. This is not my first game. I will say that. People go quiet. They go into chess mode. You're like, oh, he's playing chess over here, huh? I always say you can tell a lot about a person by the way they play Connect 4.
I'm usually really vindictive.
Well, I mean, like, are you an offensive or are you a defensive person? And he got me on the first round, ladies and gentlemen.
Round 2.
That was low hanging fruit, and your viewers deserve better, and I apologize.
Hey, low-hanging fruit is the name of the game on this show. I had my one friend, I asked him a question, and when he answered, he goes, he did this really high-pitched, So when he did that, I kept making him do it. I kept cutting it until it was like he was malfunctioning doing it. Do you have a single pair that you wear more than any others that are like, what are those?
I wear my my Jordan 4 Olympics.
Yeah.
All black.
So yes, low-hanging fruit is the name of the game here. You've also revealed yourself that I have to pay closer attention to you than I normally do with people. Thought you were gonna be cute, huh? Battle of Wills intensifies. And then the weirdness sets in again. How did he not see that?
Ah!
1-1.
Round three.
All right, you're up again. Gonna be friends with it. What was that? You've got a tremendous hiney. I like it. I want to be friends with it. I think that was from Anchorman.
Yes.
Man, you're making things complicated. Why must you be decent? Used to murdering people.
I'm actually not, but what I'll do is I will force stalemates.
But then there are games I never ended in a stalemate, so I don't know. Has Connect 4 ever ended in a stalemate?
I'm not sure.
Not on my show. But that's an interesting, I would be eager to know.
I see you. I fucking see you.
This man is playing chess. That's a goddamn conundrum. What kind of twisted game are you playing?
I want you to, like I said, I'm petty, and I also have a gambling problem, which is why anytime I drive past Tampa's like casino,
The Hard Rock?
yeah, I white
I've never
knuckle past
been there.
that.
I've never
Oh, I white knuckle past. It's about the Russian thrill.
So you must be loving this.
Okay.
He's got the shaky hands. For good reason.
Also, bingo is rough on
How did he not see that?
Son of a bitch! And I looked at that and I'm just like, there's nothing I can do. So Kobe, you didn't see it.
Thank you, Oral.
Thank
oh
you.
my God.
This has been great.
What an awesome.
Except for this was bullshit!
And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Another victory for talent in the books. Oral put on a really good match. He beat me in the first round.
Yep.
It
I
is-
should be a gracious loser, but I'm not.
It is what it is. You were an awesome guest.
Well, you know, I knew that. Thank you so much for having me.
I would love to have you back sometime.
This was anytime.
And seriously, we should do more side piece episodes as I catch up on the comics.
You over here is different from us over here.
I just asked him to be my side piece.
You know what? I've done worse in life. I've done worse.
So you'll come back.
Yes, absolutely.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please do not forget to like and subscribe. And tune
Can
in
you do
next.
that here or here?
Or there, or there.
There?
Check us out again next time for another episode of Connect 4.
And I watch Little House on the Prairie because I like to get drunk and watch Little House on the Prairie sometimes. I see what you do now. You lure people into your house and you're steady playing Connect 4. What kind of sick fuck are you?